gun-toting patriot, God-fearing patriot. Bryson, why they mad? Cause I'm real and they be faking it. Free speech advocate, it's on my mind, I'm saying it. I'm about to buy another gun and ain't nobody taking it. Gun-toting, Bible reading, God believing, truth speaking American. This MAGA season, Democrats committing treason. I know they think it's sweet, but you don't know who you dealing with. This for free thinkers only. You ain't got no membership. They free. General Flint out the cage, cause he innocent. Barton Roger Stone, cause the run know that he innocent. We need to kick out every single illegal immigrant. Mandatory voter ID laws we need to implement. Tell Justice Smollett that I know this MAGA country. Tell China we know they.
Hello, everybody. We are live. We are about a few minutes early, so I'm going to let everybody enter the chat. Let me know who's here. Join us on YouTube. I put the link in the chat if you want to join. And I will be back in 2 seconds. I will play the start of the inauguration. They're doing like some prayers and things like that. And then I have some coffee on the stove that I'm going to go catch. So if anybody wants to join, there is a StreamYard link on the YouTube live chat. And you can meet me backstage. And then I will bring everybody to the stage as soon as I get my coffee. All right, guys. I will see you in about 3 minutes.
We know that America can never be great again if we turn our backs on you. We ask for your help, and we pray all of this in the name of the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, your Son, my Savior, and our Redeemer, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Associate Justice Kavanaugh to administer the Vice Presidential Oath of Office.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, James David Vance, do solemnly swear.
I, James David Vance, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith.
That I will bear true faith.
And allegiance to the same.
And allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office.
The duties of the office.
On which I am about to enter.
On which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Vice President.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chief Justice Roberts to administer the Presidential Oath of Office.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Amazing! What? That was amazing!
It is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you the 45th and the 47th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
Thank you very much, everybody. Well, thank you very, very much. Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices of the United States Supreme Court, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and my fellow citizens. The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
Thank God, America first.
Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end. And our top priority will be to create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free. America will soon be greater, stronger, and far more exceptional than ever before. I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success. A tide of change is sweeping the country. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world. And America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before. But first, we must be honest about the challenges we face. While they are plentiful, they will be annihilated by this great momentum that the world is now witnessing in the United States of America. As we gather today, our government confronts a crisis of trust. For many years, a radical and corrupt establishment has extracted power and wealth from our citizens while the pillars of our society lay broken and seemingly in complete disrepair. We now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home, while at the same time stumbling into a continuing catalog of catastrophic events abroad. It fails to protect our magnificent, law-abiding American citizens, but provides sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals, many from prisons and mental institutions that have illegally entered our country from all over the world. We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders or, more importantly, its own people. Our country can no longer deliver basic services in times of emergency, as recently shown by the wonderful people of North Carolina, been treated so badly. And other states who are still suffering from a hurricane that took place many months ago. Or more recently, Los Angeles, where we're watching fires still tragically burn from weeks ago without even a token of defense. They're raging through the houses and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now. They don't have a home any longer. That's interesting. But we can't let this happen. Everyone is unable to do anything about it. That's going to change. We have a public health system that does not deliver in times of disaster, yet more money is spent on it than any country anywhere in the world. And we have an education system that teaches our children to be ashamed of themselves in many cases, to hate our country despite the love that we try so desperately to provide to them. All of this will change starting today, and it will change very quickly. My recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal and all of these many betrayals that have taken place, and to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed their freedom. From this moment on, America's decline is over. Our liberties and our nation's glorious destiny will no longer be denied, and we will immediately restore the integrity, competency, and loyalty of America's government. Over the past 8 years, I have been tested and challenged more than any president in our 250-year history, and I've learned a lot along the way. The journey to reclaim our republic has not been an easy one, that I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life. Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again.
They're not even getting up. Kamala, you see Joe Biden? They're not standing up. How dare they?
I was just
You see
writing that
that?
in the
He said, "Make
message.
America great." I don't care what party you from. You should agree about making America great again, because you in this country too. You're an American too. That's how you know that they're traitors. Look at them. They didn't even stand up.
That is why each day under our administration of American patriots, we will be working to meet every crisis with dignity and power and strength. We will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and peace for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day. It is my hope that our recent presidential election will be remembered as the greatest and most consequential election in the history of our country. As our victory showed, the entire nation is rapidly unifying behind our agenda with dramatic increases in support from virtually every element of our society, young and old, men and women, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, urban, suburban, rural, and very importantly, we had a powerful win in all 7 swing states. And the popular vote, we won by millions of people. To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor, we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true. Thank you. Thank you. National unity is now returning to America, and confidence and pride is soaring like never before. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. We will not forget our country. We will not forget our Constitution, and we will not forget our God. Can't do that.
Christ is King. Christ is King.
Today, I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense. First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border. All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy.
Thank God. Thank God.
I will end the practice of catch and release. And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country. Under the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. And by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities. As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Next, I will direct all members of my cabinet to marshal the vast powers at their disposal to defeat what was record inflation and rapidly bring down costs and prices. The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
Oh, that's amazing. We're going to have cheap gas again. Everything will be affordable. Thank God. Thank God.
America will be a manufacturing nation once again, and we have something that no other manufacturing nation will ever have, the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we are going to use it. We will bring prices down, fill our strategic reserves up again, right to the top, and export American energy all over the world. We will be a rich nation again, and it is that liquid gold under our feet that will help to do it. With my actions today, we will end the Green New Deal and we will revoke the electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto industry and keeping my sacred pledge to our great American auto workers. In other words, you'll be able to buy the car of your choice. We will build automobiles in America again at a rate that nobody could have dreamt possible just a few years ago. And thank you to the auto workers of our nation for your inspiring vote of confidence. We did tremendously with their vote. I will immediately begin the overhaul of our trade system to protect American workers and families. Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax foreign countries to enrich our citizens.
Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank God.
For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service to collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues. It will be massive amounts of money pouring into our treasury, coming from foreign sources. The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before to restore competence and effectiveness to our federal government. My administration will establish the brand new Department of Government Efficiency. After years and years of illegal and unconstitutional federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America.
Yes, I can get off probation on YouTube. Yes, Donald. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. Something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law. And we are going to bring law and order back to our cities. This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. This week, I will reinstate any service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay. And I will sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately. Our armed forces will be freed to focus on their sole mission, defeating America's enemies. Like in 2017, we will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families. Thank you. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs. President McKinley made our country very rich through tariffs and through talent. He was a natural businessman and gave Teddy Roosevelt the money for many of the great things he did, including the Panama Canal, which has foolishly been given to the country of Panama after the United States. The United States, I mean, think of this, spent more money than ever spent on a project before and lost 38,000 lives in the building of the Panama Canal. We have been treated very badly from this foolish gift that should have never been made, and Panama's promise to us has been broken. The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or form, and that includes the United States Navy. And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China, we gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back. Above all, my message to Americans today is that it is time for us to once again act with courage, vigor, and the vitality of history's greatest civilization. So as we liberate our nation, we will lead it to new heights of victory and success. We will not be deterred. Together, we will end the chronic disease epidemic and keep our children safe, healthy, and disease-free. The United States will once again consider itself a growing nation, one that increases our wealth, expands our territory, builds our cities, raises our expectations, and carries our flag into new and beautiful horizons. And we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars. Ambition is the lifeblood of a great nation. And right now, our nation is more ambitious than any other. There's no nation like our nation. Americans are explorers, builders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers. The spirit of the frontier is written into our hearts. The call of the next great adventure resounds from within our souls. Our American ancestors turned a small group of colonies on the edge of a vast continent into a mighty republic of the most extraordinary citizens on earth. No one comes close. Americans pushed thousands of miles through a rugged land of untamed wilderness. They crossed deserts, scaled mountains, braved untold dangers, won the Wild West, ended slavery, rescued millions from tyranny, lifted billions from poverty, harnessed electricity, split the atom, launched mankind into the heavens, and put the universe of human knowledge into the palm of the human hand. If we work together, there is nothing we cannot do and no dream we cannot achieve. Many people thought it was impossible for me to stage such a historic political comeback. But as you see today, here I am. The American people have spoken. I stand before you now as proof that you should never believe that something is impossible to do. In America, the impossible is what we do best. From New York to Los Angeles, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C., our country was forged and built by the generations of patriots who gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. They were farmers and soldiers, cowboys and factory workers, steel workers and coal miners, police officers and pioneers who pushed onward, marched forward, and let no obstacle defeat their spirit or their pride. Together they laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, built great highways, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and triumphed over every single challenge that they faced. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help, we will restore America promise, and we will rebuild the nation that we love, and we love it so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. We're going to win like never before. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In recent years, our nation has suffered greatly, but we are going to bring it back and make it great again, greater than ever before. We will be a nation like no other, full of compassion, courage, and exceptionalism. Our power will stop all wars and bring a new spirit of unity to a world that has been angry, violent, and totally unpredictable. America will be respected again and admired again, including by people of religion, faith, and goodwill. We will be prosperous. We will be proud. We will be strong, and we will win like never before. We will not be conquered. We will not be intimidated. We will not be broken, and we will not fail. From this day on, the United States of America will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely. We will live proudly. We will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, performing America the Beautiful, please welcome the Armed Forces Chorus and Carrie Underwood.
There she goes. Yeah, she's a singer. Let's listen. Yeah, I think they're having technical difficulties or something. Yeah, Biden did a head to toe. He looked at her from head to toe. Wow, this has been great so far, guys.
We're looking into the Capitol Rotunda where President Trump now making our lives a lot easier. He's no longer former president or president-elect. He is now the president.
Bill Clinton is loving
has
the
taken
view.
office, and we are just waiting here for Carrie Underwood. We're going to listen in.
For amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Fisher will now introduce the benediction clergy.
I now call on Rabbi Ari Berman, Pastor Lorenzo Sewell, and Reverend Frank Munn to provide prayers of benediction.
Okay, here we go.
Let us pray. Almighty God, your prophet Jeremiah walked the streets of Jerusalem and blessed its inhabitants with the Hebrew words, Baruch HaGever Asher Yiftach BaHashem. Blessed is the one who trusts in God. Thousands of years later, this great nation, which adopted these words as its motto, in God we trust, stands at a moment of historic opportunity. Americans are searching for meaning. Our merciful Father, help us rise to meet this moment. Bless President Donald J. Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance with the strength and courage to choose the right and the good. Unite us around our foundational biblical values of life and liberty, of service and sacrifice, and especially of faith and morality, which George Washington
Trump is the only one who
called
has his eyes
the
open.
indispensable supports of American prosperity. Guide our schools and college campuses, which have been experiencing such unrest, to inspire the next generation, to pair progress with purpose, knowledge with wisdom, and truth with virtue. Hear the cry of the hostages, both American and Israeli, whose pain our president so acutely feels. We are so thankful for the 3 young women who yesterday returned home.
Now
And
Biden
pray
finally
that the
opened his
next
eyes.
4 years brings peace to Israel and throughout the Middle East. Almighty God, grant all Americans the opportunity to realize our shared dream of a life filled with peace and plenty, health and happiness, compassion and contribution. Stir within us the confidence to rise to this moment. For while we trust in God, God's trust is in us, the American people. America is called to greatness, to be a beacon of light and a mover of history. May our nation merit the fulfillment of Jeremiah's blessing. The like a tree planted by water, we shall not cease to bear fruit. May all of humanity experience your love and your blessing. May it be thy will, and let us say, Amen.
Let us pray for our 47th president. Heavenly Father, we're so grateful that you gave our 45th and now our 47th president a millimeter miracle. We are grateful that you are the one that have called him for such a time as this, that America would begin to dream again. We pray that we would fulfill the true meaning of our creed, that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. We pray that you use our president, that we will live in a nation where we will not be judged by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, we are so grateful today that you will use our 47th president so we would sing with new meaning, my country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and because America is called to be a great nation, we believe that you will make this come true. So let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. Or from the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous hilltops of California, but God, we're asking you not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and every molehill in Mississippi, from every state, every city, every village, and every hamlet. And when we let freedom ring, we will be able to speed up that day where all of your children, black men and white men, Protestant and Catholic, Jew and Gentile, will be able to sing in the meaning of that old Negro spiritual, free at last. Free at last. Thank you, God Almighty. We are free at last. If you believe where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Come on, put your hands together and give your great God great glory.
Almighty and eternal God, we gather here today in reverence, joined in our shared hopes and dreams for our beloved nation. In this sacred moment of the inauguration of President Donald J. Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, we turn our hearts to you, seeking your divine assistance and abundant blessings upon this pivotal moment in history. We come before you with profound gratitude for the many gifts you have bestowed upon our land. Thank you for the freedoms we cherish, for the strength of our communities, and for the resilience of our spirit. As our President and Vice President embrace their newly appointed roles, we humbly implore that your everlasting love and wisdom will envelop them. Grant them the clarity of mind to navigate the challenges that lie ahead and the compassion to serve all citizens with fairness and integrity. May their hearts be filled with a giving spirit and sincere understanding for those whom they represent. May they be beacons of hope in times of uncertainty and prophetic voices in defending the dignity of all created life. We pray for a spirit of collaboration to flourish in our government and across our nation, fostering an environment where dialogue and heartfelt listening will prevail over division or discord. May each decision made by our president and vice president reflect the values of justice and peace. As we embark on this new chapter, we also seek your comfort, O God, for those who feel lost or disheartened. In this time of transition, may your light shine upon them, reaffirming their belief in a brighter tomorrow. May we all strive to lift one another, supporting our fellow citizens with kindness and empathy, recognizing that together we can overcome any adversity. Grant us the strength to endure, the courage to face our fears, and the clarity to see the light that remains, even when clouds of uncertainty may gather. Inspire our new leaders to be champions for the vulnerable and advocates for those whose voices are often silenced. May they pursue policies that promote the well-being of all, seeking to build bridges that will foster unity and belonging. As we stand witness to this inauguration, we hold fast to our faith in the goodness of each of us and the possibility of change. We trust that with your guidance, O God, our nation can move forward to a future filled with promise, prosperity, and understanding. And finally, we lift our hearts in gratitude for the beloved parents of President Trump. Without Mary and Fred Trump, this day would never be the miracle that has just begun. From their place in heaven, may they shield their son from all harm by their loving protection, and give him the strength to guide our nation along the path that will make America great again. Let us go forth now with these words of President Trump's emblazoned on our hearts. As long as we have pride in our beliefs, courage in our convictions, and faith in our God, then we will not fail. We stand tall, we stand proud, because we are Americans, and Americans kneel to God and to God alone. Amen.
Okay, that one I could get a little bit more with, but the other ones, too much. Oh, wait, the national anthem. We'll do the national anthem and then we'll go to Jimmy. Everybody, put your right hand on your chest. Right hand on your chest. Right hand on your chest. Right hand on your chest.
Can you say, o'er the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight are the ramparts wayward were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets angry, heaven's blasting in earth, give proof to the night
That was amazing. Oh, that was probably the best national anthem I have
Ladies
heard
and
since
gentlemen,
Whitney
please
Houston.
be seated.
Woo. All right, we got Jimmy on the stage. Oh my goodness, Jimmy. How are you feeling?
Man, I tell you what, it's been a range of emotions today. I've been so excited, so happy, tears of joy. I've got tears now. We have fought so hard over the last 5 years to try to educate folks, try to get folks to break out of this matrix, to show folks that we've been ruled by a tyrannical government for so long. And we just really, it's good to see this day happen. And I'm really excited to see all the executive orders that Trump is going to put into place. Because it is time for common sense to return to America. Screw DEI, screw the ESG, screw the trans agenda, screw all that bullshit.
Yes.
It's time for America to get back to where we need to be. And this is a start. This is a start. So I'm excited about it. I feel like there's a brighter future ahead for every one of us. I know that there's people out there that still want to bitch and complain about Trump and this and that and say, oh, he's part of the crowd and club. And you know what? Actions speak louder than words. And for the 4 years that Trump was in office, America was doing good. People had more money in their pocket. And so we were respected around the world. We had world leaders capitulating to Trump and the agenda that he wanted to put into place. And I'm telling you, it's going to happen again. And it's a great day for America. Great day for America. And F all the trolls. F them. Sorry. Done with that crap.
Yeah. I mean, like it's 2025. We did this. We were so emotionally invested in this, physically invested. We did it. We voted. We got it done. I've had this show for about 9 months or almost a year now. We've been talking about politics for this long. If you try to twist my words or to get fake offended over something I say, it's fake, because by now you should know my true opinions on everything if you've been watching the show, and you should know what we mean by now. There's no room for confusion anymore. We have left nothing to be confused about, because we've covered almost everything so far in regards to this election. So I'm not going to explain myself no more. It's 2025. I'm not doing it in person, in society. I'm not doing it online either. If you don't understand, well, I'm sorry, you got left in 2024. I'm not bringing you up to speed anymore. We're here now, and we're going to be watching the next 100 days of Trump and the next 4 years of Trump. And whatever he does, we are going to criticize it or scrutinize it or praise it right here.
Yeah, we as a nation, I saw in the comments just a second ago, we're going to hold Trump accountable. He made a lot of promises, and I do believe that he's going to follow through on those. There's a lot of other stuff that's going to happen. I totally believe that. One thing that I don't know if a lot of folks know, we talked about the continuity of government and the devolution series, which basically means that military power, we transferred to military power during the past 4 years. However, Biden, what's the word I'm looking for? Rescinded a executive order 13916, parts of it last night, which basically tied into devolution, which means that we are no longer going to be under continuity of government, which means that the Republic is back. The Republic is back.
Okay.
And so that is a huge thing that a lot of people, a lot of the trolls, they don't understand this stuff because they don't want to pay attention to things. Another thing that I want to express to the people is these pardons that Biden has thrown out. Don't worry about those. I mean, for one, how do you pardon somebody who hasn't been, indicted on a crime yet? How do you do that? You know, so basically, what these pardons, these preemptive pardons, will do, it will strip every one of those people of their Fifth Amendment protection. So when they are called in to testify, they have to tell the truth. Because if they don't, then they're going to be held up on perjury charges and they're going to get thrown in jail anyway. So so that is what these, I know a lot. Oh, he pardoned Fauci. Oh no, he's getting away. No, he's not going to get away with it. No, it's not going to happen. And so that's what these pardons are about.
Very interesting. There's a lot of like chess being played around here.
Yes, and it will continue to take place, and that's going to be our job as digital soldiers now, is to help explain to folks different things that are going to be happening, because we held the line. We held the line for 4 fucking years.
Yeah.
And we survived it. And now the Republic goes on offense. We're done with the deep state.
Yes.
Done with them.
Wow. Yes. Everybody put some clap in the chat.
We love you, Jimmy, and we wouldn't be where we are if we didn't have someone like you giving us all the juicy tea.
Exactly. We would be getting there, but we will be like snails. We will be so slow.
Yeah.
To get everything, because at least we were open to the information. But Jimmy kind of accelerated us closer to the finish line.
Big time.
I took an extreme chance back in 2020 when I started this route, but I knew I had a mission to fulfill, and I stayed true to it. I never wavered, and it's a great day. It's a great day.
Yes, it is. I mean, this is just the beginning. Okay, this is the beginning.
Yeah, y'all are going to see some stuff that you never thought you'd see before. And again, I don't know the timing on everything. I don't know when things are going to happen, but things will be happening, and we're going to go into the justice and the accountability phase, because we can't let these people get away with what they've gotten away with for so long, because we have a country to save, we have a world to save. And if you can't get on board with saving America and saving, the humanity, then get out of our way. Get out of our fucking way.
Yeah, and get out of our country too, because you.
Sorry for the cussing, but I get very passionate about this, and yeah. So, what a journey!
That is okay. I am now on the offense too, because it, like how I said, where everybody was sitting down when Trump was talking about making America great again. It doesn't matter what party you're in; everybody should agree with that. And for them to be sitting down just shows you the disgust that they have for you as fellow Americans and for this country. They hate this country. So why should we be playing the game with people that hate this country? Absolutely not. Get the heck out this country if you don't like it. And if you don't want to make America great again, regardless of party, then get out. Your vote doesn't matter, because you're going to be voting for evil anyway. Your voice wouldn't matter, because you're not talking about making things good. You're talking about destroying things. So no, we're gonna really build back better. Okay, we should take that slogan and make it ours, because we need to build this back better.
Yeah, well, I personally, I won't be using that slogan, but I know what you mean. So I get it. So, but
because they've been destroying this country forever, and like I was saying in the chat, I was saying, F the UK, because they would send people to prison over a social media post, but for the guy who raped a UK citizen doesn't get any prison time. And that just happened in the news recently. This is not, old news.
Well, and
Well, that's disgusting.
that's the type of environment that they wanted to bring to the United States, and we are not going to let that happen.
Exactly. So there, and the UK should not be our ally. The Israel shouldn't be our ally. Any country who doesn't uphold the same values as us should not be our ally. So why are we helping these people? Why are we sending them money? It doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Because they are imprisoning people over freedom of speech, and we're gonna help them as America? No, I wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be shocked to find out, how corrupt the government of Israel has been. There's going to be a lot of Christians that are going to have a very hard time grasping that information because they're always, oh, we got to protect Israel at all costs and we got to support Israel. Why are you going to support a government that is, wanting to, be cool with genocide? Why are you going to support a government that is basically the number one human trafficking country in the world? People don't know this. And so, it's the next 100 days are going to be amazing. Even to the more, that's why I figured I'd jump on here now, because Trump's going to get to work here in a couple of hours. He's going to start signing the executive orders, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
Wow, yeah. They're going to show it, right? It's going to be on TV.
I think so. I mean, from what I saw earlier, there's actually a writing desk set up in the Capital One arena. And I think Trump is going to be signing these executive orders in front of 20,000 people. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, we need to see that. We need to see that.
Cute.
Because this is our first time watching an inauguration, like all the way through. This is my first time as well.
Yes.
That's why I'm like really focused on what we see today. What does it mean? I mean, even what Melania is wearing right now, she's wearing black on black and white, black and white. She is so serious this time around. She didn't even break a smile. She didn't even, nothing. She was straight faced this entire time. And I love that. Melania's me, I'm Melania. Because and Trump has to play nice, and I understand like why he has to. But if it was me, I wouldn't. I'll be just like Melania. I'll be having a straight face. Like, these people are not my friends. They try to kill my husband. They try to ruin my family. They talked bad about her for years, not just the last 4, the last 10, trying to destroy their reputation and persecuting them politically. So her energy right now is on point. I'm loving the energy right now.
Yeah, what you just witnessed today, let me back up. This inauguration had a different feeling than what 2020 did. Back in 2020, there was a gut punch because I was just learning what the plan was. I was just learning how everything was going. I didn't understand the 5D chess. I didn't understand all that. So it was kind of a gut punch for me. But this one felt different. And what you witnessed today, I do believe, was the funeral for the deep state.
Yeah, man, I agree. I saw so much authority and power. Like, how like Trump really demands that. He ain't playing around. And that's why I love Melania too. She ain't joking with these people. Their energy is unmatched.
And see, in the majority of Americans, we know that what has been going on in the United States has not been right. The majority of us know this. And we want someone to represent us in our values, in our spirit. And that's why, we're going to hold Trump accountable. I do believe he's going to come through with, the promise. He's not reneged on any of his promises that he's made, especially in 2016 to 2020. And a lot of people say, well, he said he was going to do this and he didn't do that. Well, there's a timing. There's a thing called timing. The timing has to be right. And so I think we're going to see a lot. Our work is not done yet because we got to be there to hold people's hands and guide them through everything they're getting ready to see.
Wow, yeah. They just gave each other a handshake, a hug. And goodbye, Joe. Man, I thought I would never see the day. I was like, these 4 years have been brutal. They've been torturous, like legit stressful. That this
Yeah.
election would go the way that it would go, because I was like, if this doesn't change, we're not going to be able to level up. We're not going to be able to save money. We're not going to be able to do anything that I've wanted to do, because we've been stuck at home for the past 4 years because we couldn't afford gas or afford to go anywhere.
Yeah, it's an amazing day. I'm so happy about this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
more optimistic than before.
Let's see what anything in the chat. Let's just check the chat.
Yeah, we got some in the chat. Michelle says she doesn't believe this is 5 chess. She believes Trump is controlled opposition. So please stay objective about it, or you will have big feelings and feel really disappointed. Well, I guess we'll see. In the next 4 years, we will see.
Yeah. I mean, to make that statement, I would love to, for folks that make a statement like that,
Yeah.
I would love to know how they came to reason to make that statement. What evidence, what makes you say that?
I guess
and that's what, because every time I say something, every time I personally say something, there's a reason why I say it, and I present that information on why I say certain things. I think a lot of people are still, and this is no offense to anyone, but I think a lot of people are still conditioned by the media and want to believe what the media has told them. So they just sometimes spout that stuff out. Yeah, we'll see. And like I've always said this. If Trump turns out to be a charlatan, if he turns out to be part of the club, if it turns out that he's been guilty of crimes and other things, then he too needs to be held accountable and face justice.
Right.
So don't get it mixed up that, I'm not open to that possibility. Anything could freaking happen.
Yeah.
So,
but I think a lot of people forget that at the end of the day, this is politics, and people have to play the game. So you can't really hate the player, hate the game, because he needs to put up the front as if he's friendly or there's an alliance or allegiance or whatever. It's politics.
I feel that my issue and why I kind of agree with her is because I think we've been through so much.
Yeah.
So to have something good, it's like it's hard to accept that or enjoy it in the moment. Because
but don't sabotage it. You know what I'm saying? Like, sit back and relax, but don't sabotage it for yourself, because you should have at least a little bit of faith in what Trump says, that he will do it, because he is the president and he does have the power to do it. So when we are our citizens, we need to demand that he does what he says. You can't just say, oh, he's a puppet. No, we need to start demanding things as citizens. No longer are we going to just be watching this on TV and call it a show. We need to get active. We need to get registered. We need to get there in person, be there, be the one holding people accountable. But if you always want to just blame it on puppeteering or politics or whatever, then you're never going to get anywhere. So at least we're starting from square one, because we don't know anything, right? We're ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, we're learning, but don't always just blame it on that, because he is in a position of authority. He does have the power. Tell him what to do. He works for us.
Right.
And if you want to expose an enemy, or if you want to capture an enemy, you got to understand what infiltration works both ways.
Yeah.
Infiltration works both ways. So, there's a possibility that some people have to look like they're supporting a certain country, Israel. It's bigger than what people can even imagine as far as what the game is that's being played.
Okay.
And so I think there's a lot of people out there, and again, no offense to anyone, but I don't think some people think big enough.
Right. Yeah, that's another thing. We hold ourselves in this box, and it's like, get out of that box. You see yourself doing better, getting a better job or making more money or moving to a new place. It's like, how many people have said, oh, like for example, I can't, like Tony, when your mother told you, oh, I can't believe you did that. And you said, no, I did it for my kids. I had to do it. Sometimes we have to do these things. We have to see ourselves doing better, especially for our children. Or when I left in New York, oh my God, how could Ruby leave New York with 3 kids and not even a place to live or anything? We had to figure it out. But we saw a vision. We had a vision, and we didn't care how we were going to get there. We just knew we were going to get there. But we had to do the first step and leave. We had to do something. And that's kind of how I feel with politics too. It's like, we don't actually see ourselves doing any better or getting better because we see so many like depressing things, like blackpilling ourselves all the time. And it's like, no, we're better than that. And we can become better than that.
Yeah. Yeah. The American people forgot how to fight for their freedom.
Yeah.
They forgot how to fight for their freedom. They think that just because we live in the United States, that our freedoms are granted to, that they're just going to be given to us. No.
Yep.
How many times have we seen the deep state, the tyrannical government, trample on our freedoms and take things away from us? And then we just sat back and said, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
In broad daylight.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and search me as I go through the airport. Go ahead and tax me on all this, and I'll be fine with it. People forgot how to fight.
Right.
And for the ones of us that have reclaimed our ability to fight against a tyrannical government, that's kind of foreign to some people because they haven't gotten to that level yet. I will fight for our freedoms. I will fight for my kids' freedoms, your freedoms. And I won't stop until they are secured, because the tyrannical governments around the world, not just the United States, they will not give you back your freedoms. You have to take them back.
Right.
And there's people out there that are not built to be fighters. So because of that, we stand up and we'll fight for you until you wake up.
Yep. And this is where, in our modern day, this is where civil disobedience comes into play, because we're supposed to be pushing back on this. When the school board tells you that we're going to teach your kids X, Y, and Z, you say no. When you go to the airport and they pat you down, no. When you go and they tell you put a mask on, no. You need to start saying no and stop being passive with everything in your life.
I want to address. Can you put up that comment that the world is a stage just put up about Q? I want to say something about this.
Yep.
Go ahead and read that out loud.
She says, don't you think Q is putting yourself in a box, an echo chamber? That group is just like a cult. Do you see that or no? I try to keep an open mind about everything, but it's culty to me, just like MAGA.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What's culty about it? Does it fit the definition of a cult? One of the definitions of a cult is you believe everything we say and don't go, like with Watchtower, don't go outside to do research. Can we agree that that's a characteristic of a cult?
That's a big one. Yep.
Okay. All right. If you have actually looked at the Q post, I cannot tell you how many, I can go back and look, but I cannot tell you how many said, do your own research. We are giving you information. You go do the research. You make up your mind. You discern the information. No cult is going to say that. Another thing, a characteristic of a cult is you have one leader or a group of leaders basically based at the top, lording it over everybody else.
Right.
Tell me, we don't know who is Q. We do know that it's less than 10 people that know the plan. So those two things right there, you don't know the leader, and they have actually said, do your own research. How is that a cult? And when folks, and in all fairness, when folks say that, it just tells me, and again, no offense, because I like World as a stage, but it tells me that they have not looked at the Q post. They have not gone in, and because there's so much information. Only thing that and if it was a psyop, fine. It was a psyop. It was a psyop to wake people up. Because basically all the information that was put out in the Q post was designed to bypass the mainstream media narrative. That's what it was designed to do. So, and to say MAGA is a cult, oh my God. What's culty about Make America Great Again? Come on.
I mean, I know what she's talking about. But that's a very minority group of people who do think that Trump can do no wrong and that he's the second coming of Christ, and they make memes. And there are some of those boomers who do that. But that's not MAGA. You see what I'm saying? It's like you really need to separate things and really educate yourself on what it is. And that takes a lot of energy. You have to be fully immersed in these communities to truly understand them. But if you're looking from the outside, of course, you're going to label them whatever you think it is because of what it sounds like. So you can't just believe everything that you think. You really got to vet it out and see what's what. And that discernment comes when you talk to people who are in MAGA or in Q or in
and that's the thing, Ruby. I would love to know how many hours I've spent on research, how many months, years. And I can honestly say that the majority of the folks that want to be naysayers and be super skeptical about things, there's nothing wrong with skepticism, but I can guarantee you that a lot of these folks haven't dug as deep as I've done on things. And once you immerse yourself into knowledge and trying to figure this stuff out, things make more sense. I can understand people being skeptical. I can understand people being worried that, oh, nothing's going to change. It's always going to be the same. It's blah, 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 blah. Okay, I get that. But having that attitude, does that create growth or does that keep you stunted? And
it could.
And if it keeps you stunted, then you're not helping anybody else. And most importantly, you're not helping yourself to grow in knowledge. So I will push back on anybody that says Q is a cult. Now, psyops. Okay. Yeah. But there's also a thing called not all psyops are bad.
Yeah.
And for me, if it wasn't for back in March of 2020, for me personally, if it wasn't for Trump and if it wasn't for the Q post, I would have not woken up to the point that I am today. So
well, she did say that Q kind of woke up a lot of people. And like you said before, there's different avenues in which things are being used to wake people up. And I think that Q was kind of like that forum for people who are into that to wake up, just like they would use any other avenue like the media or YouTube or X.
Well, it's like John. John is not a Q person. He never was. But because of what we saw in the media with CV and the jibby jabs and a bunch of other things that didn't make sense, he didn't need the Q post to wake him up.
I didn't really know too much about what they were.
He didn't need him.
Oh,
is Trump speaking? What's he saying?
Felt it. And we hooked up very early. I watched JD over a period of time. I endorsed him in Ohio. He was a great senator and very, very smart. The only one smarter than him was his wife. That was I would have chosen her, but somehow the line of succession didn't work that way, right? But now she's great and he's great. This is a great, beautiful couple and unbelievable career. I just said to him, you are very upwardly mobile, because he hasn't been doing it that long, but he picked it up so quickly. Remember, the first week was a little bit like the fake news was hitting him really hard. And I said, oh, this may be tough, but After that, it was smooth sailing for him. He took on everybody. He took on the meanest. I don't want to use the word corrupt because we're into a new system. So let's wait till the corruption begins, because it will. But he took on some pretty mean people, and he handled it well. I want to also congratulate Mike Johnson for the job that he's doing. Steve, we gave him a majority of almost nothing. And then I said, to make it tougher on him, let me take 2 or 3 of the people, right? I said, he'll only have to suffer with that for about 3 months. How are they doing, by the way? Are they? Is that moving along?
Totally uniform.
I said, do you mind if I take this one, that one, and a couple of others? He didn't mind. He can handle it. No, he's a man that's liked by everybody. I've never met a man like this. You've got how many is it, 219 or 220 or something? 220. And of the 220, 219 really like him. I noticed he got 1 negative vote once about 2 weeks ago. But I think even 220 like him, if you want to know the truth. And that's very unusual. I know a lot of nice guys in Congress, and they have 35 people that hate him. So if you have 35 people that hate you and you only have 1 or 2 or 3 votes, you'll have 5, I think. But that's going to be like, the good news is when we get to that 5 number, it's going to feel like a massive majority. You could be really nasty to a couple of them at least. Yeah? So it's going to feel like hitting your head on the wall and stopping. It feels so good to stop. But he's done a fantastic job. And Steve Scalise is, he's our hero because, I was with him.
Hey, Ruby, pause this for a second.
Talk about being shot.
Yep.
I was with him.
I want to respond real quick before I forget. Somebody said about the Q thing that this made people not want to do anything. It made people just trust the plan. So I am living proof that I did not do anything. It was because of the Q post that I got up and started doing stuff. It was because of the Q post that a lot of people started putting this information out there. So no one that is a true digital soldier, a true Anon, is sitting on their hands waiting for a savior to come in. I will push back on that. Okay.
All right.
Just had to say that.
Pretty much better than we even thought, right? And I did have a couple of things, to say that were extremely controversial. And between JD and Melania and anybody else that heard, please, sir, it's such a beautiful unifying speech. Please, sir, don't say these things. I said, I'm telling you, it's going to play great. They say, you're right. For this group of people, it's going to play great. You're the only ones I hurt by not, but we had some beauties, didn't we, Melania? She said, sir, calls me sir when she's angry. No, I'm only kidding. I better say I'm only kidding, or the press is going to pick that one up loud and clear. No, but she said, no, I think it would be terrible. It's such a nice speech. I think it's, it all depends on your delivery. How was the delivery? Was it good? But she said it's such a beautiful speech. You can't put things in there that you were going to put in. And I was going to talk about the J6 hostages, but you'll be happy because, it's action, not words that count. And you're going to see a lot of action on the J6 hostages. See a lot of action. And I was going to talk about the things that Joe did today with the pardons of people that were very, very guilty of very bad crimes, like the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs, where they literally, what they did is they destroyed and deleted all of the information, all of the hearings, practically not a thing left. They deleted all the information on Nancy Pelosi having turned down the offer of 10,000 soldiers. You wouldn't have needed 10,000. You could have had 500, and it would have stopped. Because we may have had 1 million people that day, the people that were there. You don't see any photographs, but we have a lot of great photos. But you don't see those photographs. They don't put them in. They show the people at the Capitol. But I was talking about that. I was going to talk about that. They said, please don't bring that up right now. You can bring it up tomorrow. I said, how about now in front of the I'll bring it up right now. You know, this little time delay is good because we're getting great reviews on the speech. Now watch. They'll take the speech and say, I didn't like it because he left there and he's talked to people. But we're giving you a little more information than we gave upstairs. But no, they pardoned a lot of people. They pardoned, before we even get to today, they pardoned, 33 murderers?
33?
Murderers, the worst murderers. You know, when you get the death sentence in the United States, you have to be bad because they don't give it much. And he pardoned almost everybody having a death sentence. And if you went through the crimes that were committed, you wouldn't even believe them. The level of violence, the people that were killed, the innocence of people that were killed and children killed by these people. And he pardoned them for whatever reason. He spared them, but they didn't spare the people that they killed. And, you know, who knows what happens in the future. It's one of the worst because a lot of times they let them out early after that. You know, they say you're going to be in for life, but then all of a sudden they get let out for good behavior and then they go on a rampage. You know, it's one of those little things, right? But I was going to talk about that. But I was really going to talk about the level of, you know, what's going on. Why are we doing this? Why are we trying to help a guy like Milley? Why are we doing Milley? He was pardoned. What he said, terrible what he said. Why are we helping some of the people? Why are we helping Liz Cheney? I mean, Liz Cheney is a disaster. She's a crying lunatic and crying Adam Kinzinger. He's a super crying. I never saw the guy not crying. He's always crying. I looked at him. I remember years ago, he was actually on my side. And then one day, you know, when you don't want to kill people in wars, they turn against you. Liz Cheney hated the concept of not going to war with everybody. Let's kill everybody. Let's spend a lot of money on military equipment, you know, where her father works, right? And, but what she did was incredible. Think of it. They destroyed and deleted all of that information that went on for almost 2 years against Trump. And the reason they did, because it was all false. Like the person that said, I tried to strangle a Secret Service agent. That's one of the toughest human beings I think I've ever seen. I actually had a friend saying, please don't change that, sir. You are the coolest sucker in history.
Did they really just cut Trump off? Ah, man.
Yeah.
Now we gotta watch this.
Nah. I don't watch Joe. He
Well,
needs
we
to go.
could welcome Jesse to the stage.
Hey, Jesse.
Underwood.
Jesse
How you
Underwood.
feeling, Jesse Underwood?
Hey, all the prayers were awesome.
Nah, no. It was
the
performative. It was.
Heck yeah! I was like,
No.
what is going on? At first, when he started praying, I thought he was gonna rap.
Okay.
Carrie,
the singers
That's
were
racist.
awesome. Can you give me that? The singers were awesome.
Yes, Carrie Underwood. Yes.
All of the military singers, all the
yes,
it was
the
just-
choir. Yes.
the choir was beautiful. We're Jehovah's Witnesses. We never get to have a good choir. And so when we see a good choir, we got to call it out.
Yeah, it gave me goosebumps. It made me feel so patriotic. I
You
like
gotta
seeing the
admit-
Marines walking through like so robotic. I love it. I love the uniform.
We were always neglected as J-Dubs. We never got to see pomp and circumstance. It was all fake, you know, the same repetition. So when you hear like America the Beautiful, God Bless America, or you hear that opera singer, who was that opera singer that sang? God, he was beautiful.
I'm gonna have to see what his name is, but he was amazing.
Beautiful.
What do you think, Jimmy? Did you like the music and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. I had no problem with it. I just wanted everything to go off without a hitch. I didn't want to repeat a Butler, Pennsylvania. I just wanted everything to go off without a hitch. And so that was good. So yeah, and Carrie Underwood, I like how she improvised and went a cappella. That was cool. The only thing that I kept telling my wife as I was watching everybody file in was, man, You know how many? I wonder how many crimes are how many crimes are listed with all the people that showed up today. Obama and Hillary and Bill and George Bush and all the crimes. But I truly believe that accountability is going it is going to happen. There's just no question that it has to happen.
And Michelle skipped it. I was thinking like she from the very beginning, she's always been like anti first lady, anti, like she really didn't want that job. Like she really made it evident. She, like, I used to always remember her saying like, if it wasn't for Barack, like she wouldn't be doing this. She wouldn't be in this line of work or anything. Like she really hated the job. So it's not surprising to me that she didn't make it, that she skipped it. And honestly, it's just like, it's again disrespectful, just like how they don't stand up when they talk about America in general, generalizing America. Doesn't matter what party you're from, they sit down out of disgust and disrespect. It's the same thing with Michelle. Very disrespectful. Like, you are a former first lady. That's never gonna leave your title. Like, that's your title, and they don't take it with any care. They don't care about it. It's just a job to them. It's just a paycheck to them. And that bothers me.
Well, that was pretty evident. I think it was during, I don't know what event it was. I don't know if it was I don't think it was an inauguration or what, but there was an event being held where Barack and Big Mike were together, and I don't call her Michelle. It was there was something with the flag, and you saw her say, "All this for a flag."
Yeah, like little things like that we used to be on the TV and the media. You could tell she was disgusted with it, and it's like, why are you even here?
Yeah, well.
Hey, can I share something that Jimmy, feed off of what Jimmy said, and I agree with him. And a lot of the pundits on the news are saying about there will be justice looked into some of the crimes. Jimmy alluded to some of the crimes, but Jimmy, I had a vision or a thought, and I've been dreaming about this from just watching the news. Let me throw it at you and see if it's plausible or am I way off. But the Civil War in context, another insurrection, the January 6th suffering, the our brothers who are suffering in jail right now because of January 6th. Could there be a malice towards none moment by pardoning the J6 and say Biden got to trump the whole damn Democrat Party, give us the January 6th and malice towards none, and this is over?
Here's where I'm at with the J6 pardons. I think personally that every case needs to be taken individually. And the reason I say that is because there were some people there that were there to create the chaos. There were Antifa members. There were FBI confidential human sources. They could have been some of the ones that are sitting in prison as well. So I do believe that each case needs to be looked at individually.
I agree with that.
Great point. I wasn't even thinking about that.
You can't give a blanket pardon to all J6 people because you don't know who you have locked up.
Yeah, great point. I wasn't even thinking that. Me
neither. That's a good one.
And I was just sitting here thinking a second ago, I got to remember the community that I'm talking to. I'm talking to ex-JWs when I come on this platform. And I just know that it's a different... most ex-JW, I mean... Okay, you said last week or whatever, I'm the Q guy. I'm your Q guy. I'm the conspiracy theorist. I'm the one out there saying there's not another ex-JW out there that I know that speaks the way I do about this stuff.
Correct.
So I can see why there's skepticism. I can see why there's doubt in what I say. I get that because most of your ex-JWs have not dug as far as I have on this stuff. But when I found this stuff out, I was moved to bring this to the ex-JW community to try to help educate folks. And I can say it has paid off because of what you're doing now, Ruby, what Jesse and Gilbert have talked about. There's others out there that are starting to get what I've been saying all this time. So that's good.
Right. Agreed. Because you ran so we could walk safely without being dragged and canceled.
So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that.
Yeah, that's why I thank you so much for being here. And there's one other point that I wanted to make, especially with this community, is that there's nothing that Jimmy can say or can't say that would really change our opinion unless we do the research ourselves.
Right.
Nobody can really convince you of anything, and people really don't change. Like, that's just my opinion. We don't really change unless we do it ourselves and we convince ourselves of that truth or of that lie.
Yeah.
So even if you do entertain
evidence, he always backs it up. He always tells you, look this up, look that
but
up.
you did it yourself in
But
the
it's
middle of the night. You did your research.
Exactly. But he's giving info is what I'm saying. He doesn't just say it and doesn't. You provide the info. You provide where to go.
And even on spiritual matters too, because we come from a cult that they shove Jehovah down our throat. Even if we wanted to believe in Jesus Christ or we wanted to believe in something else, we were beat since we were babies. That no, this is the only way. And that's not the way God works. God allows it to rain upon good people and bad people. It comes at their own time. You can't force anybody to believe what you believe. You know, you show them the way, you plant seeds.
Right.
Exactly. And that's what I always tell Tony, because people always want to say, oh, well, it's because you talk to so and so and that's why you're acting like this. This is not you.
Oh, I hate that.
And I hate that too. And it's like, no, deep down inside, I actually believed these things, but I never looked into it, because these are thoughts that you're trained to put in the back of your mind and never look at it about it again, because that's what the cult did to us. So now through Jimmy, we are allowing ourselves to already like search in ourselves those theories that we believed in, or those ideas that we
let me give you an example that came out in the news the other day. Are you guys aware of David Icke? Okay, now me and Gilbert, we don't like David Icke a lot, but we follow him, and man, we like to feed off his energy. But we don't believe everything he says, but we love the way he proposes things. But something he said yesterday or the day before is he said that cults love open borders. Now, I'm trying to relate it to today. It's so true, like the cult that has taken over the Democrat Party, our beloved Democrat Party in the United States of America. They love open borders. And I remember as Jehovah's Witnesses, we were a no-border cult. We didn't know it, but we were always taught by Watchtower that God is going to make no borders. There's not going to be any borders, any nations.
That's true.
When Jesus gave us St. Paul, apostle to the nations. Jesus never said tear down Rome. Jesus never said tear down Galilee. Jesus never said tear down any nation, you know. But the witnesses always taught us no border philosophies.
Not only that, they were also all in on the depopulation agenda as well.
Oh, yes. When they said, don't get married, don't have children, go to Gilead, become a missionary, put spiritual goals first.
And that's true, Ruby. But let's take it deeper. They were cool with destroying 7.5 billion people on the earth, because they said that everybody that wasn't a Jehovah's Witness was going to die at Armageddon.
Oh, that's so
And they would take their
true.
property. They were going to have beachfront property. I remember being at the Kingdom Hearts. I'm going to have a beachfront house. Where'd you get that?
So Watchtower, they support the depopulation agenda.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I thought you were also going to say that they advertised the lollipop to JWs to take that and to take the CV thing.
Well, there was that too. But if you look at Watchtower's actions, I cannot express this enough, folks. It lines up perfectly with the
Yep.
deep state globalist NWO agenda.
It does. And that's weird because back in the day, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but we used to be against the governments as JWs. We didn't trust the governments. They told us it was satanic and like the beast, and the United Nations was the beast. So we were very like anti-government. Like that's how I grew up. So all of a sudden for them to be so similar to deep state, or government.
Well, see, the thing is
weird.
you would have to get, and this kind of goes in line with what Jesse was saying, for Watchtower to say that, you have to kind of get rid of the governments of the nations and their borders so that you could put in your one world agenda. So they were manipulating us to be against governments so that if a government fell or whatever, that would be celebrated because then, they could put in their one world agenda thing. Ow, damn, got a cramp. It's cold out here. Charlie horse in the leg.
I always thought that in the spirit of America, from what I have always studied in my lifetime, there was a spirit of reconciliation, a spirit of, for example, it's even in our music when it says, "Oh, beautiful for spacious sky, for heroes proved through liberating strife, who more than self thy country loved, and mercy more than life." So in the DNA of the American is always a reconciliation. We go through great things, and sometimes our enemies have to leave the country. We don't kill them, we don't execute them, we don't throw them in jail. But just out of shame, they leave because they don't share with us the American spirit. And I think that's what I learned from Abraham Lincoln. That's what I learned from John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy took a bullet to the head, and Bobby Kennedy and Martin Luther King. There's always been a spirit of reconciliation. I don't know if I'm feeling that right now. I feel it. And especially by Trump talking so much about God. So there might be a spirit of reconciliation where a lot of us want revenge. So no matter which way it goes, we're living in great tumultuous times. I don't know which way the winds are going to blow. I don't know. But we are in unprecedented times, beautiful times.
But
That's
would you
why
really call it revenge if you want justice? I mean, I wouldn't call it revenge. I would just call it pure justice
Great
for
point,
the
great
crimes
point.
that they committed.
But there's a couple of courses we could take,
retribution.
Yeah,
Retribution.
that's how I would better describe it, because revenge doesn't even, I don't feel that in my heart anymore. Like, I just want them to be arrested or deported.
I understand that, but we're dealing with a population so dumbed down. For example, look at Mayorkas. There's never been a more retarded leader in our country. But in his head, in his heart of hearts, he really believes he was helping America. So we're at a point where some of us in our country, it's like a divorce. You go to the judge and go, "Hey, you guys are a beautiful couple. Can't you stay together?" And you tell the judge, "No, there's irreconcilable differences." Like me, I'm a Latino, but I have nothing in common with Mayorkas. To me, he's a disgusting representation of what American should be. I'm a Latino, and I don't think black people and white people and Chinese and Americans are going to respect us Latinos after the poor job that Mayorkas did. And so what do we do with that guy? I don't know. That's what we're going to find out.
Send his ass to Gitmo.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I want to see the next 4 years. I want to see Fauci. I want to see all
Fauci's
those
been
people.
pardoned. Fauci's been pardoned.
Let's say another thing too. There's another Q post that says fraud vitiates everything. So once it comes out that the 2020 election was fraudulently done, everything that Biden and his administration did goes away. Pardons and all.
That would make sense because he wasn't a legitimate president.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jimmy. Like, for instance, look at our Jehovah's Witness religion. One of the things me and Gilbert always talk about, when you find out 1914 is a fraud, it's a lie, it's a stupid lie, things start breaking. A lot of the brothers in 1975, once they found out that was a lie, all the dominoes start falling.
Yep.
Same thing with what Jimmy says. Once you find out that they cheated on it, we know they cheated on it. Now the question is, Jimmy's bringing up this big point. He's saying, okay, if it had a cheating foundation, does that disqualify everything? Wow. That's something that the Americans are going to debate forever.
Yeah.
And see, and that goes back to what we've talked about before with 1871 and us not being on the original Constitution. So everything that was passed after that, your Federal Reserve, your progressive income tax, all this stuff, it's null and void. We get rid of it.
And that's what I would expect Trump to do. I want to see Trump do that.
Okay.
And
hey, Jimmy,
and
what about the classifications of the assassins of John F. Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, and Martin Luther King? Do you think we're going to learn more stuff? Because that goes into what you were saying about the 2020.
Yeah, I do believe we are, because Kash Patel, there was an interview that I think it was Glenn Beck did with Kash Patel. And Kash Patel basically said, you're speaking to a guy that has seen everything when it comes to the JFK files. Kash Patel knows. He knows everything in the JFK files. That's why he is facing backlash from the deep state establishment, and that's why they're so scared of him, because they know he knows this stuff and is going to bring it out to the public.
Now look at Bobby Kennedy. This is where revenge comes in. They killed his dad. They killed his uncle. They destroyed his family. For what? He loved America. For loving America, they destroyed. That's what the deep state did to Americans. That's what they're doing right now to January 6th prisoners. So we're torn. We're really, as a country, we almost have to be in prayer, because we really are torn. There's two sides. There's those who abused the power and those who got abused by the power.
Yeah. And that's what we're fighting. And like I said, just because Trump got inaugurated today, the war isn't over.
Yep, it's just the beginning. That's why he called them political thugs. Okay, we're dealing with thugs. It's like a mafia, and even the Kennedys were involved with mafia ties. So I wouldn't be surprised if they linked up the deep state and the mafia to get rid of them. So I think it's really important.
Yeah. I mean, I am so excited because we're going to see some shit that we've never seen before.
Yeah. Ruby,
I'm not stressed one bit about it at all.
Ruby, Jimmy, Ruby was right, because did you notice in the speech he talked about the cartel hard? Like nobody has ever talked about the cartels.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was some scary shit. I was scared. I was working in my shop, I was scared because you're 2 miles from the border. It affects so many millions and millions of people. Yes, it does. Yeah. Everybody on both sides of the border gets affected by that. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Mexico's not doing nothing.
Let's just say daddy's home.
Yep. I mean, I'm telling you, it was really stressful. That's how invested we are in this. We were seeing those murders like Lakeland Riley and all those other young women who were killed by illegal immigrants and stuff like that. I was scared.
Hey, Ruby, let me throw you a question. I listened to all the inaugurations, and in my lifetime, I one of my favorite was John F. Kennedy's, and I wasn't born yet, but I like to go back on YouTube because you can hear all of them, and Nixon's, but there's two words I didn't hear in Trump that I heard in other inaugurations. Okay. I didn't hear United Nations. I never once heard Donald Trump talk. Now, I remember John F. Kennedy talking glowingly about it, Ronald Reagan talking about passively. All the presidents talk about the role we play in our nations, but I never heard Donald Trump even utter those two words.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't heard it either.
Well, that's because he knows that they're part of the deep state agenda anyway, and that's why he's going to pull us out of NATO. That's why he's going to pull us out of the WHO. That's why he's going to pull us at the Paris Climate Accords. Yeah, we need to be pulled out of all that.
I agree.
Every bit of it. And I saw another comment somebody said, what about the Clintons? What about the Bushes? We will never see justice. I disagree with, I understand why you say that, but I disagree with it because I think we will see justice.
Hopefully. I mean,
The wheels of justice run slow.
yeah, they do. Yeah.
So just because it runs slow doesn't mean it's not going to happen. There's too much stuff on these people. And again, it has to be slow. It has to be presented to the public in a way to where they can easily digest it.
Right.
Because majority of the people, they don't know what Hillary Clinton did down in Haiti. I can ask you right now, does anybody on the chat know anything about Haiti and Clinton's?
I know a little bit about it. There was a foundation that she had. I think she was funneling money or trafficking kids and stuff like that.
Was it the gold mines or the silver mine?
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. There's so much that people don't really understand, and that stuff has to be brought out to the public so you can consume it, so that eventually when these people are brought up, then you have the support of the people to hold them accountable.
Yeah. Right. You know, Jimmy's right, because look, let's say there was a president who was involved in JFK's assassination, and we as a policeman know you have to cover it up, because these leaders, they had the thing called the New Society. They had a lot of people worshiping these presidents that came after John F. Kennedy. If they were involved, let's say Lyndon Johnson was involved, and it will destroy so many people's lives. It will destroy, so they cover it up.
Sorry, can you repeat that, Jesse? Because I was like looking at the chat.
Well, when we say about the wheels of justice, when they killed John F. Kennedy, the president that followed him, Lyndon Johnson, he was the creator of the New Society in the 1960s and started the Vietnam War. But throughout the 70s and 80s, they always in school threw it down our mouths that Lyndon Johnson was a great president.
Right.
Now we're learning that a lot of people believe that he knew about the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
He totally knew about it.
If he would have said so, a lot of people would have lost faith in him and his policies.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So they cover it up. So the wheels of justice, did the wheels of justice, can you say, touch Lyndon Johnson? Well, I believe in the spiritual war. I believe in building treasures in heaven, not on earth. I believe Lyndon Johnson met his justice because he escaped our justice as Americans. But now look at what's happening. A lot of people are questioning his greatness. In the 60s, everybody said, oh, he was the great society, that he brought the Equal Rights Amendment. And we're saying, oh man, no shit. You killed one of our great presidents.
You know, you could look at this on a smaller scale. You know, you think about somebody that was arrested, convicted, and sentenced back in the 80s for a murder. And as time goes on, as we get more innovation, more technology, they retry the case and find out that this person that was sentenced for a crime comes to find out that they didn't do it. And they were falsely imprisoned for 30 to 40 years. So would you say that the wheels of justice moved very slow on that person? This person knew, I didn't do this, y'all. I'm trying to prove to y'all I didn't do this. But the courts convicted him and sentenced him. And then after some time went by and more stuff came out, then you find out that this person was wrongly imprisoned.
Yep.
So it does happen. Justice does prevail.
And you know what? In the martyrs of history, when you study history, the martyrs of history are always the innocent persons who are trying to warn their fellow brothers. Joan of Arc, Jesus Christ. I mean, go through all of history. John Brown, for example, in the Civil War, he was talking about it before the Civil War, the abolitionist. He was crazy in the head, but he was warning people that this was wrong. And all throughout the martyrs of history, we always kill them when they're trying to warn us about injustice.
Yeah.
I don't know why it works that way.
Yeah, because they're telling the truth and people don't like the truth. So they would rather keep the lie and live the lie than listen to the truth.
And that's why you've seen so much censorship over the last 5 years on social media for folks like me and others that have tried to put out information to try to wake people up and warn them, and we got silenced
every step of the way.
Exactly. And that's why I was cheering when Trump said today that he was going to restore freedom of speech
Hey,
on these platforms.
let me ask you, Jimmy, because I wasn't following you but I remember me and Gilbert were always talking about ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine since day one. And where were you on that? Did they censor you on that?
Yeah. I mean, you don't accumulate 187 community violations on Facebook if you weren't talking about that.
And look, that was a life-saving drug.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Oh, I was going to mention something. Going back to Jesse's point about how in school they were teaching you about President Johnson. This is why I love homeschooling, because I'm not letting the public school system indoctrinate my children to make them believe that these presidents were good and that their policies were good and that these things that were signed into law were good, because in reality, they really weren't.
Right.
So in homeschooling, when you are the teacher, you take that history and you teach it the correct way. So I am giving them the information from the very beginning at this age where they're going to soak up all this information, and I'm teaching history the right way, because the right way is to show them the truth and then to show them the lie. So we watch all that propaganda about these praising these presidents and this time period and stuff like that. And then I say, okay, now you know what the world teaches. Now I'm going to teach you the other side. And I teach them both so that at least they try to understand what, and that's a lesson in itself, to teach them what's propaganda and what's not, because you're teaching them how to make the difference.
There's a great meme that I put up, that I've seen back in 2020, and I still put it up from time to time, that it says, there's going to come a time when people will hang their heads in shame for the evil that they protected and defended and the heroes that they ridiculed.
Yeah, I saw that you reposted it on X, and I love that. I do. It's so true.
And you know what, Jimmy, let me add to that. Some people even go further and said they're going to chase these people down the street, like they chased Mussolini, and strong.
Well, yeah, I mean, we already know that that's going to happen, because again, that was in the Q post where it said there's going to come a time where these people will not even be able to walk down the street.
Hey, changing a little bit what Ruby said, going back to Ruby's school. Because somebody in the chat said we're jumping around a lot. Let me just go. Trump talked about the Department of Education. Did he talk about it today? The Department of Education, or was that last night?
That was yesterday in the rally.
What do you think is going to happen there?
It's going to go back to the States.
What does that mean? What does that mean to you and I and to Ruby? The kids? What does that mean to the kids?
That means that the federal government will not be involved in the indoctrination of our children. That it will go to the states, and the people will decide in those states what kind of curriculum they want for. I mean, it'll just go back to pre-1979.
So the PTA will be stronger. The parents will be strong.
Yeah.
It's called school choice, and this is why Florida is one of the leading states in this, because in Florida there's so much freedom. You could even unschool, which means you don't teach them anything. They just learn on their own, quite literally.
Oh, like Gilbert, like my brother Gilbert, he's unschooled.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that that's controversial, but guess what? If that's what the parent wants, leave it up to the parents. The freedom needs to go back to us. You don't tell us how to school our children or for how long to school our children or nothing. I think the DOE and public school system was put in place to teach people how to be slaves to a corporate America. And we no longer want that. We reject the system and we reject the slavery that they want to put us into, which is,
if you go back and look what Rockefeller said at the creation of, public school systems and everything, he said, I do not want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers.
That's sick for somebody to even say that. That's the biggest red flag.
That's sad.
And that was said. There's proof of that. It's 100% true.
And you know what? If
Yeah.
you're a good worker, I'm in my shop right now. I do sheet metal. And if you're a good worker and you're surrounded by good men, you want women too, because women run the whole damn business. But if you want everybody to be a thinker,
Right.
it's not just working. You want to do always a better job. And I think Trump talked about that. Didn't he talk about that in the inauguration today? How Americans are dreamers, Americans are doers, Americans do the impossible.
Yep.
I remember back before 79, that was a great song we used to sing, to dream the impossible dream. And that's the way we were taught when we were little kids, pre-1979. We were taught, you know what? I remember when me and Gilbert used to get spanked by our dad, and my grandparents in Mexico were educators. And they always said education begins at home, preparation is school. Now bend over and grab the ankles. And wham! They used to slap. Every time we got a spanking, they all bend over.
God.
Yeah, but it was true. That's why schools were called preparatory. Education started at home. That's why you would insult somebody and say that person has no education. That means he was uncouth, he was unlettered, he was a savage. But preparation was school, preparatory. Education began with mom and dad at home. Grab the ankles. I'm going to give you the best education. That's what my dad used to say.
Wow.
Well, guys, I think I'm going to jump off here. I got some stuff. I got to go into town and get a few items for the house. But I will be keeping up with everything today. I can't wait for him to go and start signing executive orders. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to give us something to talk about.
Okay, before you go, Jimmy, before you go, give us one that we have not heard of. What's one executive order that you could throw a curve at us?
I think you guys have heard most of the ones that are the popular ones. Rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which that needs to be done anyway. You know,
that's some crazy stuff.
If the deep state can rename things, so can we. And matter of fact, you know, there's more United States coastline bordering that Gulf than there is Mexican coastline. So why is it not?
In North Carolina, is he going to do something special for the people who are suffering right now?
I think that, there's something on the table for that. I think there's something on the table. I don't know all the executive orders. I did see one, and I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if it was, I haven't vetted it yet, but there's somebody saying that he was going to legalize marijuana.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if that is true. I saw it. Let's just say I saw it, but I don't know if that's going to be a legit thing. Which, if that were actually true, that's not actually a bad thing. I know people, oh, he's legalizing a drug. Okay, it's a fucking plant. And it has a lot of medicinal purposes. Plus, two, if you look at the industry, you know, hemp, you have hemp concrete, you have paper. There's so many different things that hemp can be used for that is going to be a threat to big businesses and big corporations. So hemp is a good thing. I mean, if you ever go look up hemp concrete, it's stronger, more durable than regular concrete. So I don't, we'll see how that plays out. Let's see, executive order to do the remain in Mexico. He said that, shutting down our border, sending the military to our border, shut that down. I don't know what all the other executive orders are going to be, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be crazy. Fun.
Yeah, I think so. And we're going to be here to talk about it. Whenever something happens, every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to talk about it. And we're going to see what it means for us, because I'm watching for the next 4 years. I'm watching every little thing he does and says.
You know what? On inflation, I just want to throw this at it. I don't think a lot of our Democrat brothers and sisters or leftists believe that you could do an executive order and the price of eggs and milk will go down. But he addressed it in the inauguration. Did you catch it? By touching it to gasoline, by touching it to energy. And then the price. So he had almost an economics class, because a lot of people say, oh, how is he going to lower the price of eggs? Well, he put a correlation how they're mixed together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot let's just say a lot of people need to open their minds to a bigger possibility of things. I'll just say that without offending anybody. You just need to think bigger because literally everything is connected.
Yeah. We're seeing that.
And he's not playing nice anymore. I think ever since the assassination attempt, he's changed. So I don't think he's going to be the Trump that we've seen before. I'm hoping that he's harder this time, more serious this time, and he ain't playing no games this time. I hope he doesn't waste his time.
In all fairness, the first term, he was basically getting to know everything, learning the playboard, figuring out which players are who. The foundation was laid. So now we come into a situation where there's going to be action.
Mm-hmm.
So
and on the marijuana thing, Jimmy, I don't know much about marijuana, never done it in my life and all that, but it will affect the laws and the prisons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because there's people that are serving prison time for petty marijuana crimes. Mm-hmm. So that will those will go away.
Good. That is good because they're nonviolent people. They're just people. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I personally disagree with it, but that's for another stream.
Yeah, but a person.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Ruby.
For go look like that.
Go back and do some history work on why was marijuana deemed illegal in the United States. Mm-hmm. Go back and look at that and connect it to big lumber, big oil, pharmaceuticals.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Because that was the reason why it was labeled as being illegal.
Wow.
Hey, Jimmy, and was it because it was a very readable plant? It was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it empowered poor people too, middle class people, all people.
Yeah.
Because anybody had access to grow it. Yeah.
And it was medicine, so big pharma.
And we were demonized. I mean, you think about it. We were demonized to believe that this is some hardcore gateway drug. Okay, marijuana is different than coke and crack and meth and all that because all those things they have to be made
synthetically.
Yeah, they have to. They're synthetics. Yeah. Marijuana is natural.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's natural. And didn't God say that, everything that I've created is in subjection to you? So it's a plant.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but yeah, that's a whole nother.
It is.
That's a whole nother ball of wax.
It's a good topic, and we'll talk about it.
But I'm cool with it. Go ahead and legalize it.
I'm cool with it too.
Yeah. So
we know you are. Well, thank you, Jimmy.
Guys, I appreciate it. Those in the chat, thank y'all so much for your support and everything. I know I say things that sound crazy, but again, I will do my very best to always back up what I say.
Yeah, very interesting. I love it, Jimmy. Thank you for joining and sharing everything with us. Thank you.
Y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Love y'all. Goodbye, y'all.
Bye, Jimmy. Hopefully tomorrow everybody will come back tomorrow, Tuesday night. I'm going to keep the show going. I'm streaming every day. And then on Tuesday, we could really get into it. See what Trump is going to do. Okay, let's see here. There he goes. He's in front of the table. He's got some right there in front of him.
Uh-oh.
Positions in his administration.
So what would you like us to do?
And in 2017, he used, well, traditionally, right, Jim, presidents will use a different pen for every document so they can give out pens. And it's kind of a jovial, happy experience. You'll see everyone kind of joking here, smiling.
In fact, certain presidents on bills, they'll do one pen per letter so they can give out a lot of pens that people can remember.
I'm so happy that we're actually watching it together. Like, this is the first time I'm doing this with you guys.
This is the first time I'm doing this.
All right. So he signs each one of those with a different pen, and then he hands out the pens to different people.
Okay. The next one will be, excuse me. Next one will be 47 sub-cabinet level appointments. But you don't have to sign 47.
We are back, bro. We're so back to see greatness in front of us.
Thank you, sir. Now 31 acting designations and appointments to effectively take control of the government. Let's do that. That's important.
That's important. That's nice.
Okay.
All right, Jimmy. I mean, Jesse, thank you for joining us. I love it when you guys do. Hopefully tomorrow you could be here.
Yeah, Mexicans don't get Martin Luther King Day off or inauguration day.
Dang.
We got to do the job nobody wants to do. All right.
Yup, for real.
Bye, guys.
All right, bye.
So, do you know about what he's signing?
Ordering all future inauguration days, including this inauguration day, the flags shall be flown at full mast.
So he just announced it in front of before he did it. So that one he said inauguration day, and every inauguration day, the flag will be flown, yada yada. Just like ceremonial things.
It was a beautiful place to have an inauguration tonight. The sound wasn't so good. The temperature was 72 degrees. But the sound was so good. Okay.
Donald Trump signing ceremony at Capitol.
All right. Here we go to lunch.
You have a good meeting with President Biden.
Very nice. Very nice. Beautiful.
Thank you, Juan Marciano. I think after Trump is done here, I'm gonna start wrapping it up. We have some other things to do today. We play Roblox, we go fishing, you know. Gotta clean dishes.
Well, I'm not going to discuss it now. I think it was unfortunate. We won't discuss it now. There's plenty of time to discuss it.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Head to lunch.
Ready for lunch? Okay. Thank you.
That was 3 times the number of appointments you did.
Look at them, look at them, look at them. Democrats in name only. All right, Tony, any final thoughts before we leave? Because I think everybody can watch this, you know, at home. I'm definitely going to continue watching it, but we've been streaming for a while now. So any final thoughts before we go? How was your first inauguration?
Oh, this was awesome. Very interesting. It's exciting, and it's just the waiting game now. I gotta wait for action.
Do you think that you would be more active maybe next election season? Would you register? Would you vote? Like how are you feeling?
I feel more confident, yeah, honestly. I feel like I know a lot more. And I think it's mainly about the point of being active in making change. And if you want change, you got to be personally active in that. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Because we're gonna, I mean, this is the goal. You know what I'm saying? This is the goal for Ex Jehovah's Witnesses to get more involved, to become opinionated, and to not be afraid in doing so. Even if it is left wing, right wing, whatever wing you want, it doesn't matter. As long as you are getting active in your own country, that's what really matters to me, you know, personally. Yeah. That's the whole point of the show. And they saw my journey. They're seeing your journey. They see Jimmy. They see Gigi, Jesse, Neil from the Great Apostate channel. Like, we've seen so many people come, right, to the Extra Political Corner. Even non-JWs have joined us, like Teddy from the UK.
Yeah.
I hope that he will join us again soon, but that is what I love. I really love that. So for the next 4 years, hopefully more people will be able to join us on the stage in the chat. More interviews to come.
Yeah.
So we are going to watch the evolution of King Tony's politics as well. This is what is really important, especially in New York. Like we're all in different states. You're in New York, I'm in Florida, Jimmy's in North Carolina, Jesse and Gigi are in Arizona, Neil is in freaking Ireland. You know what I'm saying? So this is bigger, way bigger than us.
Yep.
So I want to thank everybody for spending time with us also in the chat, watching this first inauguration with us as well. We did it together. I love doing watch parties. It's like we experience history together. We spent time with one another, especially in the chat. Join us on Discord, XJW Friends server, for the TV show night. We're watching The Severance. We are finally up to season 2. So we're going to start that today. I was thinking of doing it like maybe around 5 or 6, depending on people's time zones. So let me know on Discord if that's a good time or if we should wait till 9. I don't mind waiting because season 2 is going to be amazing.
I can't wait.
It
So
is
the
such a great
yeah,
show.
we'll talk about it then. But yeah.
Such a great show, bro. Thank you so
haven't
much for
seen
showing
it,
that.
look it up, watch it. It's really good.
Severance. Yup. Last night I watched it. I watched the whole thing. Like we finished season 1. Freaking
The ending, crazy, right?
Crazy. I almost didn't want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
But
all right.
I was like, let me
Well,
wait.
see you guys later. Bye, guys.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. See you on Discord because I'm gonna go back on Discord. We're gonna play Roblox. If anybody plays Roblox, please let us know because Tony put me onto that platform. I never knew what that was. Like I live under a rock. So as soon as I found out what Roblox was, that's it. We all play. Me, my 3 kids, Tony, her kid. We got like 5 people on Roblox playing with the kids.
And we need
go
more
fishing.
people. We need more people.
Yeah. So if you play Roblox, let me know. We will give you our usernames. We could become friends on Roblox and let's go fishing together because that's exactly what I'm going to do after I'm done cleaning the dishes and, doing some housework stuff. All right, everybody. Bye.
I'm a gun throwing patriot, God being patriot. Pricing why they mad, cause I'm really Navy faking it. Free speech advocate, it's on my mind, I'm saying it. I'm about to buy another gun and ain't nobody taking it. Gun throwing patriot, God being patriot. Pricing why they mad, cause I'm really Navy faking it. Free speech advocate, it's on my mind, I'm saying it. I'm about to buy another gun and ain't nobody taking it.
All red MAGA flags waving through the South like we just want 4 more years. Democrats can't get right. Trumping with that Yeezy flow. Don't go broke on Sleepy Joe. Make America great again.